ऑलराइट दोस्तों, ये एक ऐसी अदाकारा है जिनको देख के यू ऑल क्रश, यू ऑल फील लाइक कि क्या बात है, क्या खूबसूरत है. एक्टिंग टैलेंट बोलो, एक्टिंग टैलेंट का जलवा तो है ही, बट एट द सेम टाइम द चार्म दैट शी कैरीज ऑन स्क्रीन एज वेल एज ऑन सोशल मीडिया, आप सब उसके दीवाने हो. यहाँ पे शी इज कैरिंग द परफेक्ट मल्टी कलर्ड वाइब ओवर हियर. दिखा रही है कि शी इज एक्चुअली स्लेइंग विद परफेक्शन. Vivacious, that is the word. How are you, Baba? I'm so glad that finally, इतने time से we've been planning, we have known each other for so long, but finally ये हो रहा है, and we're doing it actually at your house.
Okay, India is over the moon. I am over the moon because finally it has happened. Shubho has come to my house.
Yeah.
It feels great.
Wonderful. And इनके घर पे सब कुछ, right from the decor to the water that you taste, everything tastes wonderful. तो मैं बोल सकता हूँ before I go forward with the chat.
अभी तक कुछ पिया नहीं है वैसे?
अभी पानी पिया ना. अभी देखो पानी का ही जलवा इतना है. देखो मेरे इतना अच्छा इंट्रोडक्शन निकल रहा है. अभी आगे देखो क्या क्या होता है.
Fabulous. I look forward to it.
You got to tell me one thing. I've seen your work for such a long time. My first experience of your work was with Ghulaam, and then of course Begum Jaan and a lot of other things also I saw later. अगर मैं आपको पूछूं, in your entire career, be it TV or OTT or even movies that you've been a part of, combine करके, that one highlight point which you feel genuinely कि चलो मेरा पर्सपेक्टिव जो है अबाउट माई सेल्फ, एक होता है दूसरों का प्यार एंड अप्रिसिएशन, एंड अनदर थिंग इज यू रियलाइजिंग कि बॉस आई हैव बीन डूइंग गुड थिंग्स but I am perhaps made for better, so let me push myself beyond limits and go forward to that. ये कब हुआ?
I think mostly actor के life में this turning point happens when you of course believe in yourself, but it's more when others start believing in you. And I think somewhere it happened, the turnaround happened with Ghulaam, as you rightly said, because Subhojit Tiwari perceived me in a certain way and presented me in a certain way, and the audience loved it. And of course, my perception about myself has always been that I have great screen presence, but I want more people, more believers like that. And my audience was very kind to receive me. I'm a non-Bengali, and it was challenging to pull off a role where I was wearing a very different stylized sari, and the kind of role I had to mouth Bengali dialogues, and I learned everything on set. But it was nice. It was challenging. It was very, as in I could do it very effortlessly, and I could also get into the layers of a negative role for the first time. कि कोई भी white नहीं होता. Every person has a gray shade. So that was the first time that I discovered myself, and I could kind of get more into myself as an actor. I could explore more. And post Maldawali, the love I got from the audience, of course Begum Jaan simultaneously happened at the same time.
Right.
So there I got to explore more. We kind of spent 1.5 months of workshop. I was exposed to a lot of other actors, and I was exposed to their experiences in life. Of course, I got to meet the legends that time I was working with, Vidya ji, Ilarun ji, and all these things collectively, when you're part of something bigger, I feel that you kind of figure out your boundaries that you can stretch, and you kind of silently pray that people out there give you more opportunities so that you can retrieve more as an actor. But that, unfortunately, I can say that in television, I'll be frank, I've not been able to explore myself, or rather saying that people have not given me a chance to explore myself more on television. But with the breakthrough on OTT, there's a lot of hope. Yeah.
मुझे एक चीज बताओ, and I know I can talk about this thing with you genuinely because we have an equation as well.
Yeah.
You've been doing work and at the same time जिसमें acting potential है, जैसे with maldawali for example, it's not just about the way your sari is stylized or everything. There were so many sequences जहाँ पे आपको बहुत मुश्किल dance steps करने पड़े.
Correct.
So it's not just about the art. So
you remember?
I of course I notice, I remember. So वो मेहनत का काम होता है. It's not just about acting and what you're bringing on together.
But it's passion.
Exactly. So but at the same time, there's also a thing of element ki, in the movie perhaps, I mean in the show perhaps, along with your negative character, it's also a character of a seductress. तो इसके साथ a lot of layers of judgment also come. आपका जो real personality होता है वो आपको कहीं ना कहीं जाके some people tend to merge it with your real personality as well, which should not be the case. But I guess you have kind of been a victim to that at that point of time. So I want to know how you kind of overcame that thing, and वो जो एक image perhaps which people thought, जो आपने नहीं create किया but लोगों ने बनाया.
Correct.
How did you overcome that?
See, I will not lie. Initially, I was affected,
Hmm.
and I was pretty new to social media, and I was just getting to know how to, everything about the app.
Yeah.
So initially, it was a shock for me that this is what people perceive of me. But I'm an actor. At the end of the day, I put myself out there, and the audience have the right to peel off layer after layer according to how
Hmm.
according to
Hmm.
their perspective.
जी.
So their perspective is theirs, but with time I learned that I could only silence a few, but that would not keep coming.
Hmm.
But why focus there? Rather, I should focus on those things who lift, who will
Absolutely,
be
the good
responsible
ones.
for lifting me,
Yeah.
rather than putting my vibe down. So, and why not? If I come across as the sexiest seductress, why not? I think that is a
वो भी
compliment.
डिफिकल्ट है बहुत, ऐसा नहीं
That
कि
is a
आसान है.
compliment.
Yeah.
So I think anything and everything from an audience
Hmm.
that comes
Hmm.
my way, I welcome it with a pinch of salt, because at the end of the day, that
Hmm.
is what keeps us
Hmm.
going as an
Hmm.
actor.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think we should overlook
Hmm.
a few things,
Yeah.
because what you do you.
Yeah.
Rest is not in your control. So you do you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what
Hmm.
I've been
Hmm.
doing.
Hmm.
I'm doing what
Yeah.
whatever I love.
Yeah. Of course, there was उसके बाद दिव्या दृष्टि was there as well.
Yeah.
उसको I think और ज़्यादा popularity मिला in terms of the kind of show presence that you had. Then there was Raj Mahal as well. तो
Yeah.
television में either it was consistently Ridhiema was kind of seen on screen, या फिर थोड़े break के बाद ही वो आ जाती थी. She was there and she was consistently being a part of roles जहाँ की
Yeah.
a lot of actors perhaps at times they tend to think यार मतलब they go for long breaks etc. वो सोचते हैं कि यार मतलब ये role लूँ कि नहीं लूँ, but somewhere down the line the roles in whatever capacity that you have selected for yourself they have worked for you.
Yes.
So do you kind of see this as just a blend of your hard work and choice of scripts, या फिर you feel there's some sort of divine intervention as well? कैसे देखते हो इस चीज को?
I feel that my choice of work has been heart purely my heart's choice, because I believe a lot in intuition, and I believe that we actors are in this constant loop of being completely free or completely absorbed in the project we are doing. And it's important to be seen. It's if I say that camera is my first love, if I don't go out there and face the camera, my heart is going to be very sad. I want to get up every morning and feel I have a purpose in life. I'm not complaining that free days are not full of purpose. Of course,
Yeah, of
I
course.
have things that I don't otherwise do.
Hmm.
I prioritize those things in my free time. But I love being on the set, and God has been very kind to offer me projects, to offer me people
Hmm.
around me who have presented me, believed in me, and presented me in a way that audience has always loved. And just that I have been consistent and persistent of the fact that Ridhima is here. Ridhima has a lot of energy that needs to
That's
be
true.
channelized. There are a lot of people out there who need to know that they have not retrieved my full potential. Are you listening? Anybody and everyone,
सब लोग थे.
producers, directors who are listening to this, you have not yet explored Ridhima's full potential. So, what am I here? What am I going to do till the time somebody does not maximize on my potential?
Hmm. Hmm.
Keep doing what I'm doing, as in keep doing the work, keep exploring myself, keep increasing my boundaries, my limitations,
Hmm.
keep working on myself.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I believe only when you're on the field you learn.
एब्सोल्युटली. मुझे एक चीज बताओ.
Hmm.
एक होता है खुद का मेहनत, खुद का शिद्दत, एवरीडे लाइक यू सेड आई वांट टू गो देयर ऑन सेट, आई वांट टू वर्क,
Yeah.
आई वांट टू वर्क हार्ड. ये होता है आपके खुद के कंट्रोल में होता है.
हाँ जी.
There are other things which are not in your control.
Yeah.
Now, say when a Ghulaam works, or say when a Begum Jaan works, people see you on screen, you go to a Kapil Sharma show, एक अलग level का boost up hype मिल जाता है at the same time. But somewhere down the line, being a well wisher and a friend, I can say, because I've observed this, वो जो consistency in the film space, वो unfortunately couldn't happen, maybe because of certain limitations, or maybe you were good with the auditions perhaps that you did, but शायद there were some kind of other sort of responses from directors or producers, या फिर कुछ अलग गलत तरीके के offers which a lot of actresses perhaps go through, because of which they are unable to accept kind of projects. So I want to know, ऐसा कुछ कभी हुआ है where say you have rocked an audition and you know that boss मैंने कमाल किया है, but while signing the project the producer or the director, they say that, listen, you're good, but we want you to kind of go ahead and sleep with us or this that etc. ऐसे compromise करके ये लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं, and because of which you have had to kind of lose projects as well.
Like you said, the consistency in films has unfortunately not been there.
I so wish it would have happened.
I'm not over as an actor. I'm here, and well, I feel that an actor, the more he or she ages, there's no age of
Of
an
course,
actor.
कोई नहीं
Correct?
होता.
There's no age of an actor.
कुछ भी नहीं.
So when you are living a character, you can live it at any age.
Yeah.
If you are there, if you are continuously working, you're there in that circle. Unfortunately, it didn't happen for me because probably the timing was not right, probably the timing was not correct. And I believe everybody is running fine in their space of time. Maybe this is
Absolutely.
not the time for Ridhiema to unfold her unfold her time into films or OTT or whatever. Probably the time is next month. How can one truly predict all these things? I have been, like I said, I do what I can, right? Whatever is in my hands, and that is giving my best. And rest is definitely not up to me. I can just hope and pray that it works out. And if I haven't really cracked something, that means I need to work more on myself. And the fact that you asked that if I signed projects, yes, I did sign projects, but unfortunately, if you're doing television and that kind of coincides with your
The
projects
timing and
on
schedule,
OTT, the
right.
timing again is not right. But I'll tell you something, I believe in it, that if you're meant to do a certain project, others will adjust for you, and it just magnificently falls in place. So
Yeah.
I believe in God. I believe in divine intervention, and I feel when you ought to do a project, when you have to do a project, everything will adjust as per you. It'll all it's like a red carpet will be there for you,
Yeah.
and you have to just walk through it.
Correct.
And I did sign projects. There were two, three OTT projects that I signed during Dividrishti. And my dates, I could not get free dates, and because of which I had to let go of those projects, sadly. But then again, like how I said, but then there was never this unfortunate incident when I was asked to, sleep or do other things. I've been fortunate. I'm
That's
not
it.
saying, I'll speak for myself.
Yes, of course.
I'm not saying that there aren't others who've not been victim to these things, but I've been fortunate. I have not really directly, indirectly maybe, but I've not directly been approached for these things. And
What do you mean when
somewhere,
you say indirectly? Like
maybe indirectly, maybe I didn't get it.
Hmm.
Maybe I didn't get it. Maybe there have been incidents where, see, I'll tell you frankly, projects and serious work happens in an office setup. It does not happen in parties. It does not happen in during
वहाँ पे networking हो सकता है, but the
हाँ,
meetings
you
and
can
discussions
meet
happen.
people. हाँ, वहाँ पे लोग मिलते हैं और आपकी जान पहचान हो जाती है. But real serious work happens in office setup. So you have to go there. You have to test yourself. लेकिन मेरे तक आज तक ऐसा कोई wrong conduct has not come across. So
Which
that
is a good
also,
thing, it's a
I think
blessing.
I'm protected. Yeah. I'm like God's child.
Yeah,
I feel.
absolutely.
God's child. Yeah, I didn't have to
Yeah,
face this.
yeah.
I'm very, very lucky.
Very lucky and touched
Yeah.
wood. मुझे एक चीज बताओ, when you say that you had to kind of manage your schedule at the same time,
Yeah.
वो इसके लिए थोड़ा difficult हो जाए, and you said that जिनको adjust करना होता था वो adjust करेंगे.
हाँ.
So of course
If the
when you
timing
said
is right.
if the timing is right,
Yeah.
so but उनके end से say because of your TV schedule कहीं ना कहीं जाके have you ever been misunderstood कि चलो आपने हाँ बोल दिया project को और आपका TV का schedule है, have you ever been misunderstood by any producer or director because of that?
I feel it's all in your mind. You keep feeling that you have to please people around. You have to not let misunderstandings come in the way of talent. But if you are really talented, people out there are going to wait for you. People out there will postpone the entire thing for you. I have seen people who have been working since years and somehow just sprung up, and people feel ये कहाँ से आ गए यार.
Yeah.
So कोहरा में recently जो actor ने, so there are a lot of actors these days who we feel have suddenly sprung up, but it's not the scenario. They've been here for ages.
Yeah.
And I feel that again, when the timing is right, everything will fall in place.
You know, you've been married since 2018.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
your photos बोलो या videos बोलो, सोशल मीडिया में भी देखता हूँ बहुत प्यारे प्यारे कमेंट्स आते हैं आपके और जिसके फोटोज वगैरह
हाँ, पर
रील्स
वो
वगैरह.
बहुत बैलेंस करके
बैलेंस
चलती हूँ. आई एम
बैलेंस
नॉट अंडर
हाँ
द प्रेशर दैट आई
हाँ
हैव टू डू
हाँ
दिस.
हाँ हाँ
अगेन
हाँ
कंसिस्टेंट.
या बट मुझे बताओ दैट marriage in some way or the other kind of changes a perception of about an individual towards life. तो how has it kind of bettered your perception, जिंदगी को कैसे देखते हो, and how has it kind of made you better as an individual, अगर मैं पूछूं, because it's all about feeding off each other's energy, right? So how has his energy kind of transformed you into a better person? उसको कैसे describe करोगे? I know 4-5 साल 4-5 साल हो गए,
5 years,
ऐसे
5
ऐसे
years.
describe
Oh
करना
my,
is a
yeah.
little
No, no,
difficult.
no, not at all. Marriage is an assignment. It's a
Yeah,
project, and it's a project that's never gets done with.
correct.
It's a constant nourishing, of each other's soul that happens in the process of letting goes, of
Yeah,
adjustments, of
yeah,
a lot of things. So basically, it will bring down your ego to a full zero, where you have to not see a lot of things and kind of soften your edges.
hmm,
And two people coming in together, whether it's a sibling relationship, whether it's a mother daughter, whether it's a husband and wife, or even between friends, if you do not let go and embrace all the flaws in a
correct.
person, you will not be able to really, really receive the love. And receiving love, before receiving love, there's a lot you have to give. Every relationship requires giving. So I think marriage has made me a little less selfish. I can say.
I don't think you were selfish ever. Come
No,
on,
no, no.
बाबा.
See, we all are selfish,
वो
and
थोड़ा बहुत अपने लिए
actors,
सोचना is important, but
you
उसको
we all
selfishness
are
नहीं कह सकते.
selfish इसलिए भी because you always put yourself first,
Hmm,
and when you're married, you want to kind of weigh things and put the other
hmm,
person
hmm,
first.
hmm, hmm.
And
वो टीम गेम हो जाता है तब.
it's a team game, and you want to see that you
Hmm,
protect each
hmm,
other in
hmm.
all times, and
Yeah,
you come home and share everything. Marriage definitely makes you a better person. It
yeah,
elevates you.
yeah,
It gives you the spiritual growth. It gives you
yeah.
a complete 360-degree visual of you as a person. Many a times you
जी,
have this perception given to
जी,
you by people who hardly know you. That doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah,
Somebody living in with you 24/7, I think that person's perspective truly matters,
hmm,
and it is important because that's a friend.
yeah,
So friendship is what is the main ingredient in marriage.
hmm,
And that's what we share.
hmm, hmm,
We share
hmm.
everything, and कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है यार मिर्ची लग गई यार सुना दिया तुमने मिर्ची लग गई. But again, if you kind of put it into your system
Yeah,
and improve on that, uh, you see,
hmm, hmm.
it shows in my work too, post shadi. Yeah.
Yeah. जितने भी लोग कॉन्टेम्पलेट कर रहे थे कि शादी करना है कि नहीं भाई, इसके बाद कोई गुंजाइश रहती ही नहीं है, फटाफट जाके शादी कर लो, अच्छा
It's
खाना वाना
but
खाओ.
it's tough. It's
It's
work.
tough. It's
It's
tough. It's a
work.
daily process. वो
Yeah, it's
ध्यान
a
रखो.
process.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Begum Jaan के time पे you mentioned about it, the great cast, Ila Arun ji,
जी जी.
Vidya Balan, etc. So many people. If I ask you that one conversation with Vidya Balan ma'am, I'm also very dear to her. I love her to the core. That one conversation with Vidya ma'am, which kind of made you realize कि बहुत चलो ठीक है, everybody knows how great an artist she is. But एक conversation जो जिस चीज़ के बाद आपको शायद लगा कि यार ये इंसान भी बहुत अच्छी है.
Oh, I remember. I think she's a batuni like
Yeah.
me, and she loves people. She's a people's person, and everything she says or does is very relatable. And she doesn't carry a mask with her. She is
बिल्कुल.
who she is, and that's why it's so easy to talk to her about everything. When you don't have your guards up, or when you're not behaving well, because she is the Vidya Balan. So I remember many instances. I will cite not one but
Yeah.
two incidents.
हाँ.
First and foremost, which stuck to me, it's become my
Yeah.
mantra,
Yeah.
and she really inspired me, is one day we were talking about fitness, and about how important it is to look very good on screen, and how fitness plays a very important role in looking a certain way on screen.
Yes.
And she was the one to point out कि अगर सब size 0 हो जाएंगे तो सब palm trees लगेंगे. And It was so
Yeah,
beautifully
yeah,
said and so
yeah.
easily said that every person is unique and has a certain structure,
Correct.
right? They have a certain genetics, a certain bone structure. But
Indeed.
what happens is in this constant pressure or race that comes from outside, from the audience, from your own peer pressure, when you go out, spend
Yeah,
time with people,
yeah.
you feel that to look attractive, you have to have particular shape of eyes, particular
Correct.
shape of lips, particular shape of nose. No, the more imperfect you are, the
Better.
better character to be casted you are, and that is the insight.
Mm,
That is another new world she opened up for me,
mm,
because
mm.
it was like there goes the heavy baggage of wanting to catch up with the world. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have to now work really hard. I'll do it for myself. I
At your
will
own pace, most
at my
importantly.
own pace and
Yeah.
for my happiness within, for my mental wellness too.
Right.
Because what would happen is in the process of catching up with others or looking a certain way, you would kind of not love yourself, and if you don't love yourself, it shows on camera that you're not comfortable with your
True.
body. But today I was always confident,
Yeah.
but this whole myth of looking a certain way to be on the camera
Mm.
kind of just vanished with this one conversation.
Uh,
And yes, she's out there playing leads, playing such beautiful characters which are here to stay, and we are going to remember those characters forever.
mm,
Immortality is
mm.
what she created for
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah.
And look at her. Do we even look at her body? We just look at her face,
Yeah.
the way she performs, and the person is just looking here.
Absolutely.
So I think that is what we need to earn as actors, that
Mm.
a person need not go down from here. I'm yet to create that niche for myself, I feel.
अरे
So
हो
I'm
जाएगा
working
यार.
on
इतने
myself.
अच्छे अच्छे लोगों के साथ हो, काम किए हो, of course that will also happen.
Yeah, so I am working, and I'm very, very proud of it that I'm working on
That
myself.
is also a process. The first step towards I think getting something is to acknowledge that you need to get there. वो
Yeah,
realization ही नहीं होगा फिर पहुंचोगे कैसे?
yeah, the person need not look
Hmm.
below this, because
Hmm.
this is where you act, this is where you
Yeah,
express
correct,
from.
correct,
So yeah.
correct. Eyes वो सब कुछ तो sorted है. मुझे एक बात बताओ. इन आवर इंडस्ट्री स्पेशली हर जगह होता है बट हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत लोग फ्री में कुछ और दे या नहीं दे ज्ञान बहुत देते. ठीक है.
That's okay.
ये करो वो करो ये चीज करो ये करोगे तो अच्छा होगा ये मत करो बिल्कुल. लॉट ऑफ स्टफ एंड सो मेनी इंस्टेंसेस इन रियल लाइफ वी हैव सीन वेयर जो एडवाइस वो देते हैं उसका उल्टा करने के बाद एक्चुअली इज द रियल बेनिफिट. ठीक है. जैसे अमीषा पटेल को रिसेंटली आई वाज शूटिंग फॉर गदर 2 का प्रमोशन. शी सेड दैट उसको कहो ना प्यार है के लिए शी वाज टोल्ड इट वाज गोइंग टू बी अ मर्डर फॉर अ करियर. गदर को बोला गया था गटर. When but all these things you see, these are memorable films when you look back at history. Tell me one thing, कोई ऐसा advice or suggestion which you perhaps got, perhaps maybe to change something about your personality or maybe to change something about the way you act, which you thought कि मतलब यार ये क्या बकवास चीज बोल रहा है.
I
With
think
due respect, you don't have to mention the
no,
person.
I'm not mentioning the person,
Yeah.
because there are too many people who give advice, and too many people who tell me that you should do certain
हाँ,
things to get into a particular group or get into a particular networking cycle, that loop. So probably if you're in that group, you'll start getting more work, more quality work. So there have been a lot of examples where people want to change you, but again, like I said, that's their perception of you, that's not
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
And once you're aware of that, once you are aware and you believe strongly in what you're doing is the right path, and God helps you in the process. It's like every morning, when you kind of affirm to have a productive day ahead,
Yeah.
and when at the end, in the end, the end of the day, when you kind of reassess your day
Hmm.
and see that you've done certain number of things, the outcomes which you get from that day should make you happy.
Absolutely.
That is what is important, your
Hmm.
own
Hmm.
happiness.
Hmm.
So yeah, there were people who have asked me to really socialize
Hmm.
and go out there, sit in coffee shops, mingle, and kind of you know what happens. People for networking go out there and sit for long hours and do nothing, just keep sitting there in the hope that you'll meet
Yeah.
people, meet the right people and stuff. Um, Other than that, there have been people who've asked me that probably this side of yours is not correct or that angle of yours is not correct. तो मैं भाई सुन लेती हूँ
तो
सबकी,
वो
ठीक
बोलते
है
हैं कि
आपका।
सर्जरी कराओ, ये कराओ, ऐसा कुछ बोलते
हाँ
थे?
ऐसे भी सिर्फ लोग ही नहीं, ऑडियंस भी कभी कभी बोलती है ये अच्छा नहीं है वो अच्छा नहीं है, ठीक है सुनो सबकी।
So they have so people say कि, just because a certain angle of yours according to them is not right, you get a whole surgery done, ऐसे
या कि आप
advices.
ये दिस नो दे स्टार्ट पिन पॉइंटिंग ऑन दोस थिंग्स एंड
Yeah,
आई थिंक इट्स ओके यार, बोलते रहो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
yeah,
आई मीन मैं तो बड़ी
yeah.
बोलते ना।
मैं सुनूंगी सबकी, करूंगी खुद
हाँ
की, and
मैं
I
खुद
think
की
that is
करती
always the
आई हूँ,
vibe. That is always should be
खुद
the
की
vibe.
करती आई हूँ एंड
Yeah,
या I've been
uh,
a hard person,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so it
yeah,
really doesn't
yeah,
matter
yeah,
who says what.
yeah. You spoke about meetings, work meetings. Like एक मधुर सर के एक पिक्चर में एक डायलॉग था कि फिल्में तो बहुत बनते हैं लेकिन असली फिल्म वही होता है जो रिलीज होता है। एक
करेक्ट।
कुछ तो डायलॉग था। सो आई एम श्योर ऐसे मीटिंग्स भी बहुत होते हैं, वर्क मीटिंग्स, जहाँ पे मीटिंग्स तो चलो हो रहे हैं कि ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, बट इवेंचुअली जाके असली वर्क मीटिंग वही होता है दैट ट्रांसलेट्स टू वर्क। आई वांट
या
टू अंडरस्टैंड योर पर्सपेक्टिव। हैव यू एवर बीन इन सिचुएशंस वेयर you kind of attended a meeting in expectation of work but no constructive discussion happened, कुछ और ही हो रहा है?
होता है and most of us go through that, most of the actors I feel go with the hope that you know हम कुछ अच्छा करेंगे, something good is going to come out of this, and you go out there and I think one has to be very alert. You definitely get that intuition, that vibe, that this is not really constructive and this does not require my energy and my time. So I feel that if one has a sense of awareness and mindfulness, you definitely get that vibe sooner and you save on a lot of time. I did not have that guidance. I learned it with experience and time. So
Either somebody shows you the way or you figure out the way
well, figure
yourself.
it out
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
But
yeah,
either ways, you have to figure it out.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
yeah, I think the more practical way that you learn for life with a stamp is figuring it out yourself. It's the
absolutely.
safest.
Yeah, and tried and tested भी होता है वो, if I
Tried
can
and
put.
tested, na. That's why it's stamped for life. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
go wrong in
yeah,
it.
yeah. Last question अगर मैं आपको पूछूं कि like you said, you've been part of projects which have helped you, but at the same time you have missed out on certain things because again timing हर चीज का सही नहीं होता।
Correct.
इट शोज, जो मुझे समझ में आता है कि यू आर वेरी पेशेंट एज ए ह्यूमन बीइंग,
Yeah,
कि
yeah.
चलो मतलब हुआ
Marriage
हुआ।
teaches you patience also, by the way.
ऑफ कोर्स, या ऑफ कोर्स वो भी एक
Marriage,
ट्रीट है,
yeah.
बट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इंडिविजुअल्स लाइक मी और अदर्स जो कि अभी तक शादीशुदा नहीं है लेकिन फिर भी पेशेंस सीखना है। सो वी कैन टॉक अबाउट दैट। सो इट गिव्स मी अ फीलिंग दैट यू हैव बीन वेरी पेशेंट अबाउट योर करियर एंड द फैक्ट दैट यू से, व्हिच इज ट्रू, कि यार अभी तो शुरुआत हुआ है, अभी देयर इज सो मेनी अदर थिंग्स टू डू, अभी टीवी है, ओटीटी है, यू नेवर नो, मे बी 2 years डाउन द लाइन, 3 years डाउन द लाइन कुछ अगर एक कोई वेस्ट से कुछ अगर प्रोजेक्ट आ जाए, यू माइट बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट एज वेल। सो लिमिट्स नहीं होता।
Correct.
ये जो लिमिट्स नहीं होता वाला चीज है, इज इट अ लर्निंग दैट यू हैव काइंड ऑफ टेकन फ्रॉम योर फैमिली, या फिर अगेन दिस इज समथिंग
From
दैट
the
यू हैव लर्न फ्रॉम द
gurus,
जॉब?
from the gurus who are reigning various platforms, from Manoj Bajpayee ji, who after 30 years, I mean, I do not have the kind of patience they've had.
Yeah,
And today, when I see them, it's truly very inspiring. The kind of roles, the kind of work they put into every role, and those are the gurus out there. Those are the kind of inspirations I draw from. And the fact that I feel an actor does not age is something that I strongly believe. And I want to just say one thing, that I am not striving for success. I am striving for the value I bring on table as an actor. And the day I bring that value on table, everybody is just going to say, what happened, where's this talent come from? But that's what one is supposed to do when you're casted in a certain project, and when your name appears, you're supposed to bring some value to the table. And that is the kind of work I want to bring in about. That's the kind of change I want to bring about. When somebody mentions Ridhiema Tiwari, it should, that will be success for me. Success otherwise is very selfish.
yes,
Because success may sound your own, but it's a collaborative process of so many other people who are involved with you in your journey of reaching there.
yeah,
You can't be looking beautiful if the DOP is not good, if
So
the
true.
lighting is not good. You can't be, expressing your best if there's no good director to direct you. You can't be responding well if your co-actors are not good. So I feel that it's a collaborative process, and I think it's just a matter of time when
Yeah.
Ridhiema Tiwari gets that collaboration, that perfect divine collaboration, when everything just magically turns out. And then that day I will say, all right, I think I did bring value to the table. I did. This is success for me. This is what truly means success for me. It is not selfish, it is collaborative.
ऊपर वाले प्लीज सुन लो, मेरी दोस्त है, बहुत मेहनत भी करती है, जो वट एवर शी इज विशिंग आई होप शी जेन्युइनली गेट्स दैट. आई एम श्योर ऑल ऑफ यू मस्ट हैव लुक्ड फॉरवर्ड टू दिस काइंड ऑफ अ चैट. एकदम होल हार्टेड कॉन्वर्सेशन था विद रिधिमा. आई एम सो ग्लैड वी कुड डू दिस. आई रियली रियली विश हर एवरीथिंग दैट शी डिजर्व्स. आगे जाके मे बी कीप हैविंग दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ सक्सेस चैट्स, एंड आगे जाके ये जो अभी सक्सेस के साथ मनोज बाजपेयी का नाम आता है, वो कहीं ना कहीं जाके आगे सक्सेस के साथ रिधिमा तिवारी भी आए.
Oh, wow. So be it. So be it. So be it.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है. बट थैंक यू सो मच
Thank
बाबा
you.
फॉर ज्वाइनिंग मी.
This was wonderful.
आई डिजर्व